I'm Sean. I'm 42, and I want to ask you something that too many people keep pushing aside for way too long. Have you ever sat on the edge of your bed on a Monday morning and genuinely asked yourself, why am I still not retired? Of course you have. We all get there eventually. But there's a big difference between asking that question and actually doing something about it. Today, I'm going to give you 7 specific questions. If you can answer yes to all 7, the time has come. Not someday, not eventually. Right now. Question 1. Are you deferring your actual life? There are 7 days in the week, and someday isn't one of them. I've watched people spend their entire lives saying, I'll travel Europe when I retire. I'll spend time with my kids when things slow down. I'll start that hobby when I find the time. Then they retire, and they don't have the energy to do any of it anymore, or their spouse is no longer around, or their knees aren't what they used to be. We fall into this binary thinking trap. Grind now, live later. But none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. If you've been putting your real life on hold for a future version of yourself that may never arrive, that's your answer to question 1 right there. People who manage to both work and actually live are vanishingly rare. If you're not one of them, stop postponing. That's not a criticism. It's just the truth, and it points in one direction. Question 2. Is your health sending you signals you keep ignoring? I've had pain in my left shoulder for so long, it's basically become part of who I am. I know exactly where it came from. Years of sitting at a desk, staring at screens, always skipping the gym because something more urgent came up. The world we work in is almost perfectly designed to make us unhealthy. It rewards sitting still, encourages eating whatever's fast and easy, and punishes you for leaving on time. Sleep issues, high blood pressure, chronic stress, anxiety that doesn't go away on weekends, these things accumulate quietly until one day they just become your baseline. If your health is suffering, and you genuinely know your job is a major reason why, that's not a small thing. That's your body telling you something your brain keeps overriding. Your body is paying attention, even when you're not. Question 3. Are you mentally ready to let go? Nobody puts this question on these lists, and I think it's one of the most important ones. There's a well-documented phenomenon where people who've spent decades in saving and building mode reach retirement and genuinely cannot switch it off. Even with more than enough saved, they keep living like they're still accumulating. They underspend, they underenjoy, and in some cases, they pass away with most of their retirement savings completely untouched. Money they spent decades sacrificing for that never actually improved their lives. Being financially ready and being psychologically ready are 2 completely different things. If you've built your identity around your work, your productivity, your career, stepping away from that is a real transition that requires real thought. Not as a reason to delay indefinitely, but as preparation for actually enjoying everything you worked so hard for. Question 4. Have you tried to work less and found it's basically impossible? Some companies offer phased retirement, reduced hours, flexible arrangements. Most don't. I've talked to people who tried to negotiate a 4-day week after decades of loyal service and were told it simply wasn't possible. So they had exactly 2 options: keep going at full speed or walk away. If that's the situation you're in, the math changes. Working part-time somewhere else, even without the same benefits, might genuinely be a more sustainable path than grinding at full intensity for another 5 years, hoping something changes. And here's something nobody says out loud enough. If you've spent years going above and beyond, coming in early, staying late, always available, at some point you're allowed to just stop doing that. Leave at a normal time, take your lunch break, protect your energy. If even that feels impossible where you are, retirement isn't just appealing anymore. It might be a necessity. Question 5. Are you missing your people? You can have almost anything in life, but you genuinely cannot have everything. Time doesn't replenish. Every hour at work is an hour not spent somewhere else. If you've been missing important moments, not just the big obvious ones, but the ordinary Tuesday evenings, the spontaneous dinners, the phone calls you keep meaning to return, that adds up into something real. I've talked to people in their 60s who look back and realize they were physically present for their families, but mentally somewhere else for most of it. Work was always running in the background. That's a loss no retirement account balance can make up for. If you feel genuinely disconnected from the people who matter most to you, that's not a small lifestyle complaint. That's a serious signal. Question 6. Do you actually know what you do with your time? This one catches more people off guard than any other. I had a friend, competitive, driven, always had a goal in front of him. He worked toward retirement like it was the finish line for 25 years. Got there at 61. Within 8 months, he was more anxious and lost than he'd ever been during his career. The structure, the purpose, the identity, all of it disappeared at once. There's a reason retirement can trigger depression and loneliness in people who seem to have everything figured out. If you don't know how you'd spend your days, not vacation days, actual regular ordinary days, you need to figure that out before you make the leap. But if you do know, if you have things you genuinely want to do, people you want to be around, projects that excite you, ways you want to contribute, then you're not retiring from something. You're retiring towards something. That's a completely different situation. Question 7. Have you actually run the numbers? Not thought about running the numbers? Not roughly calculated in your head over coffee on a Sunday morning? Not done that back-of-the-envelope math that makes you feel okay without actually telling you anything useful? I mean, actually sat down and worked through what retirement looks like financially in real concrete terms. Here's what that actually involves. Monthly income from every source, Social Security, any pension, investment withdrawals, part-time work if that's part of the plan. Then monthly expenses. And I mean honest expenses, not the optimistic version where you conveniently forget about home repairs, car replacements, and the trips you actually want to take. And then the one category that destroys more retirement plans than anything else, healthcare. Most people dramatically underestimate this number. We're talking potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of a retirement. If that surprises you, that's exactly why this math needs to happen before you make any irreversible decisions. Then, there's the question of how long your savings realistically last given your withdrawal rate, and Social Security timing, which I've done a full separate video on because it genuinely deserves that kind of attention. Claiming at the wrong age for your specific situation can cost you significant money over a lifetime. Most people pick an age based on what feels right. That's not a strategy. The uncomfortable truth is that most people have never actually looked directly at the real numbers. They operate on a feeling, either I think we're okay or I don't think we're ready, but that feeling isn't built on math. It's built on hope and avoidance. You have 2 options. Hire a fee-only fiduciary financial planner, not someone who earns commissions on what they sell you, a genuinely fee-only fiduciary who is legally required to act in your interest. Or use the resources available on this channel and do it yourself. Either path works. But here is the absolute bottom line. Do not hand in your notice before you've looked at the real numbers. That is the one non-negotiable on this entire list. And if you want to understand exactly what the average American actually retires with and how your situation compares, I've put together a full breakdown on this channel. Subscribe and go watch that video next.